Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Here I am traveling through the Mojave Desert, and it is hot out here. Guys, this is probably one of the last videos I'm going to make on the Amico, simply because I talk about the business of video games, and frankly, when it comes to the Amico and Intellivision, there isn't any business. There's a lot of talk, there's a lot of words. I mean, outside of that, it really just become a novella of drama and stuff, right? And I really just don't have time. I enjoy sometimes watching it from afar, but these last few months for me have been very busy work-wise, and I just don't have time to follow the ins and outs. So I really can only concentrate on the statements or legal proceedings, if there ever are any, for this company, right? I don't like speculating because things can change based on a statement. And when companies in general are at this point, guys, you should not believe anything that they say, because you don't know why they're saying anything. Some things could be to put off potential creditors or threatening action, for example. It could be a lot of reasons. Companies put out statements for many reasons. Now, there might be some aspiring musicians out there that have podcasts that believe that Intellivision never lies, but guys, don't be like that. You watch this channel, right? You guys know that it's part of business to conduct some exaggeration, some puffery, if you will. If you don't believe me, I want you to go look at an ad for McDonald's and go look at a Big Mac, and then go buy a Big Mac. See if they look the same. They don't. Did they bullshit you, or was it just marketing? You can call it whatever you want. Bullshit marketing, it's still the same thing, right? But I can show you example after example where this company has lied, right? Where Tommy Tallarico has lied. I surely believe that we're going to sell 25 million units when the unit's not even done. Would be one example. Another example is everybody can get their money back. Yeah, because that's the law on a deposit. But things can change. Yeah, but you don't change your books, right? When you as a business, and I'm not saying they did this, right? This is just what the Intellivision fans commented, that they told them that these were going to be in escrow, and then it turned out that they weren't. Now, the way these are usually handled in a business, guys, you take in a deposit and you put that money as a liability, right? And then you don't exercise that money until you make the sale, until you're ready to ship the product, if you got a deposit. But it's marked as that, right? It's not for general purpose. You don't mix the oil and water, basically. You have to have that money aside regardless. But it didn't happen in this case. So there are many things to talk about here when it comes to credibility, and there's too many. I mean, a lot of YouTubers out there have put them out in writing, because a lot of this stuff Tommy wrote. What about when he claimed that these games that he had no contract for were coming out? That was a lie. There was no contract. So, we can go one by one and break their hearts, but hopefully these two guys will someday go on stage with Tommy, and he will fulfill their dreams, right? After all the shit they've been through, maybe they deserve it. Maybe not. But regardless, let's talk about Tommy Tallarico. Now, the proper business time for bereavement is over, guys. At this point, Mr. Tallarico is in hiding. And he's in hiding because there's, 10 to 17 million reasons why, right? In my neighborhood, if you owed somebody $1,000, and didn't pay him back, that was a good ass whooping. You still had to pay him, and you'd get your ass whooped. If it was over 10 grand, it might be a couple of broken legs. Now, it's not the same way in business, right? But you have a couple of investors here that have well over $200 million. Now, people don't get to 200 million by letting money go, if you know what I mean. So, could they stop a bankruptcy? In private, yes. In theory, no. Because anybody that owns an LLC could declare bankruptcy at any time, right? At any time. Whoever's the owner can do it. However, that doesn't mean that creditors don't have any rights. So if you have a good reason why you oppose the bankruptcy and you can show why, then you have them by the short hairs because you have inside information. And that applies even to somebody that's owed, I don't know, deposit money. You can show up, right, virtually nowadays to some hearings and raise your concerns on why you think you should not get 10 cents on the dollar or should just not get nothing, right? So it just depends. It really just depends on what is being discussed as far as what's going to be repaid and what is not, what kind of plan they put up. Remember, it's not really up to them. It's going to be to a judge or the trustee. Usually a trustee when it comes to this kind of money, because you're talking about millions of dollars, right? They're just not going to trust them and say, oh yeah, this looks good, go ahead and do it. No. Especially if there's objections. Now, when those things come out, then I can, give you an opinion. Then I can tell you where the money went, right? Because what really is a sticking point here is that it doesn't matter what these podcasts say. They can spin themselves into circles. They can have John Alvarado in there, and they can stroke each other to death, praising each other and how much they love each other and, hugs and kisses. But the thing is that on the Edgar papers, which is the only thing I believe, I don't believe shit on a podcast. I believe government documents, right? That's what I can opine on. And the documents say that these gentlemen were taking compensation Q1. Isn't that a bitch, right? You're working there in television, you get laid off, and while you're getting laid off, these guys are taking compensation Q1. They're selling furniture and taking compensation, right? Those are facts, right? Talk about that in your podcast, right? Rationalize that. Those are things that are facts that are going on, right? But it's very hard because these are things that you think you would never be talking about and you shouldn't be talking about when you're talking about video games. Right? If Tommy would have kept it on his own and he failed on his own, I don't think anybody would hold it against him. But he asked people for money. And the same people who listen to your podcast, the same people who ordered units based on what you guys said, are now shit out of luck. Because you have the objectivity of a fly towards shit. You love Tommy so much, he can do no wrong in your eyes. And the problem is that this man believes that kind of praise. And I believe that now because twice, he's come out of hiding to argue with people directly when they're changing their stance against him. I mean, the amount of ego you have to miserably fail at something and still argue with somebody that you can save this is fucking delusional, right? This is not ego anymore, it's delusion. The only thing that should happen is Tallarico should prepare a written statement, maybe by his lawyer, and use those words that have no liability, right? Because those investors that he misled with these promises of things that he could never accomplish. He just never had the business pedigree to do it, right? When he wholly believed that he could do way, way better and sell 25 million consoles, right? When the consoles weren't ready at all, right? The angels, remember, he told the angels that he was taking risk away, right? That's why I have a problem when a lot of the Amico supporters say, no, they knew they were taking a risk. No, go listen to your boy. Listen to your boy say he was taking away the risk. Because you guys might be Tommy supporters, but somebody who invested thousands of dollars was a way bigger supporter than you. Because they supported him so much, they liked him so much, they gave him that money because he said he was taking away risk. Go look at the video, it's up there. Yeah, that's another one of the lies that he didn't say, right? According to his supporters, right? To the podcasts over there. You know, and it's really a shame because in any other sphere, I would have a lot in common with this gentleman. But humans are so tribal, so afraid to take the L, that they will say things that go beyond reason, right? To praise this man after burning through all this money is intellectually dishonest, as the no swear gamer likes to say. To praise this man and to have compassion for him after he had no compassion for the channels that he ruined, for the people that he turned his back on, again, intellectually dishonest. You may not like, for example, Cyrus Martin, right? You may not like him, but the fact is that Cyrus was loyal to Tommy, and he had to go through hoops to get his $100 back. Really? That is shameful, because he was one of your boys' podcast people, right? And he had to be put through that. Now, a lot of the haters are going to say he deserved it whatsoever, you know, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what you do. How do you treat people that were loyal to you? How did you treat them? Very poorly. Because after mismanaging the money, which is, you know, like I said, it's I'm glad people are saying it now, because one of the reasons I made this channel is to bring awareness of this type of stuff, right? Awareness of what was going wrong with this business. And when people, especially the Amico supporters, now say mismanagement, that is squarely on the shoulders of Tommy Tallarico. And he has yet to take responsibility. Hire a lawyer, have him write you up something so you can use, you know, heartbreak, disappointment, tears, whatever the hell. But geez, have the balls to face somebody and tell them that you fucked up in some way that doesn't give you any liability. This guy went from legend to charlatan because he doesn't learn how to take an L. His ego is still writing checks that this company can't cash. If you take anything away from this whole Amico debacle, is that you're not always going to win, right? You're not always going to win. But when you screw up, be contrite, take your L, be humble, learn, and move forward, because that's the only way you're going to grow. Mr. Tallarico is like the man who knows everything and learns nothing. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.